Well, good morning, folks. It's the real Captain Kirk here. It is the 15th of February, President's Day. Hope you survived the epically cold Valentine's Day weekend we've had here across the U.S. And again, has been historic, certainly on many levels. A lot of folks ask, why do you say the real Captain Kirk? And I say back in the day I was dating myself many moons ago, met this pretty famous general, and forever changed how we approach long-range year-ahead weather predictions. Pretty much had a data dump, everything we learned at Rutgers in terms of physics and think statistically in climate cycles. Then that other Captain Kirk, I always call him that affectionately, the imposter on TV. I got to meet him some moons ago as well. So it was, again, it was neat. So again, that's why I say I'm the real Captain Kirk, and he's that imposter on television. Looking at February snowfall here, chart left, again, it's been pretty strong here. We've been most snowfall in 7 years. So we've had a mad finish here to winter, meteorological winter. 21% more snow than last year, 46% above average for February here, just the front half of the month. Looking at season to date, however, on the chart right here, starting back in September, we're trending the least in 5 years, 6% below average and 6% less than last year. So again, we have a lot of ways to go here to catch up to just average here for the season. I'm not sure we're going to make it here for the season overall, which will extend through April. But again, a snowy February for sure. Looking at this past mid-February period here, so this is the second week of February here, 8.4 degrees colder than last year. So this chart right, coldest in 36 years. So again, it was, in fact, Valentine's Day weekend here looks like for much of the country would average out to be the coldest in 125 years. So cold indeed as the polar vortex invaded. We can quantify this for our big Fortune 500 clients, again, how our power of 1 degree technology would actually predict sales a year ahead. So in this example chart left here, just some of the degree changes of every degree warmer or colder and its influence on seasonal sales. So we'll pick on a few of these here. So again, 8.4 degrees colder. Obviously, this time of year, retailers like to sell us spring apparel pretty much after the 1st of January. Warm, dry weather is good for retail sales, and obviously we don't have that right now. So spring apparel down 25% year over year. Cold beverages, obviously we're probably more inclined to buy hot coffee than cold beverages, but cold down 8%. Soup, again, something we'd buy, 8% up over last year. Coffee up 17%. Bird seed, we like to feed the birds when it's cold and snowy, up 25%. Energy consumption, unfortunately, your utility bill is going to take a hit here when you get it, probably in March, but up about 42% so far. So a lot of consumption just to stay warm. Auto batteries love this weather. This is a huge opportunity for battery failures. If your car battery died, you can blame the weather. Very likely when it's this cold, up 59%, fire logs up 67%, heater sales obviously up 84%, and ice melt probably even higher than what's suggested here, but triple-digit sales gain. So again, this is just how we would quantify weather's lift on seasonal sales here. If we look at the chart left here is how our retail customers would look at the weather. This is the year-over-year change in daily temperatures across the U.S., so those bars. So we had a very, very warm November, started to see some cold snaps in December with some snowstorms there in mid-December. A little bit colder January, and then an epically cold here February. And then, again, cooler trends off of March last year, which is the third hottest in history. So again, colder trends. Chart right is just versus average, and as you can see here, we've pretty much had a couple minor intrusions through the winter, but obviously this has been the big one, and it looks to be about a 2-week hit here, and might actually be the end of the epically cold weather here for winter. Quantifying this, again, the forward-looking period here, February, March, bad news for cold beverages, down 5%. Spring apparel down 14%. Lawn tractors down 23% versus last year. Lawn and garden categories down at least 36%. Unfortunately, again, your heating bill will be up about 23%. So again, some negatives here as we go into the front half of January, February, March here, and for retail sales. So they may be a little soft compared to what they were when we started this time last year, pre-COVID. Looking at this last week's summer here, week ending 13 February, this is the mean temperatures versus last year on a retail calendar. So these are year-over-year trends of the big map. Here in the U.S., obviously pretty cold. 10 degrees colder than last year, coldest in 32 years, third coldest in 36. So way below average for the U.S. overall. 24% drier, driest in 5, but still 16th wettest in 36 years, so a little bit above average. Snowfall obviously up, 38%, 9th most in 36 years. Maps inset left are trends versus average. Canada just coast to coast cold, coldest in over 36 years in Canada, 15.1 degrees colder. Great for clearing out any winter merchandise sales. Most of that's probably already been long since sold, so this is definitely a slowing of an economic recovery, if you will. Europe, 7.7 degrees, coldest in 9 years. Russia, really cold, 12.5 degrees, coldest in 9 years. So not too hard to find where the polar vortex is camped out. I'd say it's North America, Europe, and Russia. China, 1.1 degrees warmer, warmest in 12 years. Still cool down in Australia's summer, so they've been have a long stretch here of colder trends in Australia. La Nina is definitely having some role here. 3.9 degrees, coldest in 9 years. India, a little bit cooler, and Brazil, coolest in 25 years as well. Looking at the this week trends here across the U.S. Again, good news is the end is near. This is definitely the peak of winter. This week, still 9 degrees coldest in 6 years, 9 degrees colder than last year, second coldest in 36 years. So very, very cold for the U.S. Map inset left is trends versus average. Wettest in 23, third wettest in 36. So we've got one more big snowy, stormy week here, snowy and icy across the eastern south U.S. But again, it looks like a pattern shift is about to take shape here. The 6-day snowfall map shows, again, very unusual to have this much heavy snow. Again, historic snows down in Texas. This system will head into the northeast. This was more of an inland cutter, so we're going to be more icy here in the eastern PA area rather than snowy with this system. Again, but heavy snow as you go inland, Ohio Valley northeast. Then a second storm Wednesday in the south central Texas area, and that's heading to the northeast, again, a little closer to the coast this time. Snow to ice to rain, so this will be again, a sloppy mess. This might be a little bit overdone in terms of snowfall totals here, but ending Friday. And then Saturday as the vortex begins to lift out. So looking at next week, last week of February here, again, you can see the polar vortex is pretty much leaving. And as it does, it pulls the cold air with it. So about a half a degree warmer than last year. So warmest in 3 years, 10th warmest in 36 years. So above average. So again, pretty big shift here. Driest in 23 years, third driest in 36 years for the U.S. overall. So that's, again, getting kind of back to a La Nina signature here. Least snow in 21 years, fourth least in 36 years. So it looks like the end is near, at least for this major polar vortex outbreak that gripped the U.S. here for about a couple weeks. So looking at the world aggregate overall here for the last 2 weeks of February, again, cold but improving trends in North America, and it looks like the cold is going to even improving trends there in Europe, warmer in the week 2 time frame, and then looks like the polar vortex is going to camp back out where it probably belongs in southwest Russia and parts of central Russia, Siberia. So with that, folks, we hope you have a great week, and we'll be back here this time next week.